are you today? I hope that you are doing fine and you are enjoying doing your activities while studying at home. This is me again, Teacher Marife, your Science 4 teacher. Always eager and excited to be with you in your science journey. Are you ready for today's journey? Do you have your self-learning mojo, ISN involvement? If all are set and ready, come on, let's start our learning adventure. In this lesson, you will identify changes in the materials, whether useful or harmful to one's environment. But before that, let's have a quick review. Choose the letter of the correct answer. 1. Rita wants to drink milk before going to bed at night. What kind of water should he use to dissolve the powder milk faster? A. Hot water, B. Cold water, C. Tap water, and D. Ice water. 2. What will happen to the ice cubes when it is left on the table? A. It remains the same. B. It turns to liquid. C. It becomes solid. Or D. No change will be observed. For number 3, what physical changes take place when butter is heated? A. Color and size. B. Shape and color. C. Size and shape. And D. Color and shape. 4. Sugar and water mix faster when water is blank. A. Hot. B. Cold. C. Frozen. Or D. Top. For the last one, what is likely to happen when salt is added to boiling water? Salt will blank. A. Dissolve partially. B. Dissolve evenly. C. Evaporate. Or D. Float. Now, compare your answer. Do you get all the numbers right? Okay, very good. Let us now proceed to activity number 1. Identify the changes in the given materials. Today, we will going to talk about changes in materials. And we will find out the good effect of some changes in materials in our environment. But before that, let's have a short recap about physical change and chemical change. When we say physical change, only the physical appearance changes, but no new substance is formed. But when we say chemical change, new substances are formed. Let's take a look at this example. This is a piece of paper. When I tear it, only the physical appearance changes. No new substance is formed. It is still a piece of paper. But if I will burn it, okay. It turns into another substance. It becomes ashes. Most mixture are physical changes. For example, mixture of salt and water. Salt and water, the mixture of salt and water are physical changes because salt and water can be separated out later. Example of chemical change is a mixture of baking powder and vinegar. The presence of bubbles is an indicator of chemical change. Baking cake is a chemical change because the baking powder or baking soda will will undergo a chemical reaction. The heat helps baking powder or soda produce tiny bubbles of gas which makes the cake light and fluffy. That's why chemical reactions are involved in baking. Crushing a can is a physical change because the can is still a can. It has just changed size. Boiling water is an example of physical change and not a chemical change because the water vapor still has the same molecular structure as the liquid water. This would be a chemical change because it's not reversible and involves changing the bonds of chemicals in the food. The change of color and odor is an indication of chemical change. Blow drying hair is a physical change because the dry hair is the same as wet hair. Burning of tires is also a chemical change. Nail rusting is a chemical change. If iron does rust, this is a slow chemical change since rust is an iron oxide with different properties than iron metal. Food is chemically changed in digestion when new, smaller substances are formed. These chemical changes are examples of chemical digestion. Chemical digestion begins in the mouth when enzyme in saliva begins to break down the carbohydrates. Most chemical changes in digestion occur in the small intestine. Chemical change. Physical change. Some changes in the materials, whether physical or chemical, are useful to the environment, while some are harmful. Here are some useful effects of changes in the materials. Cutting of pieces of cloth to be made into handkerchief. Cutting or shaping pieces of wood or lumber into chair and other furnitures. Changing wood into charcoal for cooking. Converting tin cans and old bottles into plant boxes. Shaping old tires into animal figures for decorations in parks. Turning clays into pots and vases. Okay, those are useful effects in the changes of some materials. Harmful effects will be discussed in your next module. You can now answer Activity 2 in your module. Put a check opposite to the activities listed in the table if it is useful or good to the environment, and put an X if it is harmful to the environment. Answer the next two columns with the choices given in the parentheses. 1. Throwing of garbage to the river. 2. Cleaning estuaries and canals. 3. Using animals' waste as fertilizer. 4. Cutting of trees for firewood. 5. Old cloth into eco bags. 6. Plastic bottles into flower pots. 7. Cutting scratch paper as a reminder note. 8. Using of old water container as a sprinkler. 9. Using old socks as foot rugs. And number 10. Burning garbage.